much. My name is Matthäus. I'm the co-founder of Planeo, a Berlin-based performance marketing agency with a really strong focus on search and content marketing. And today I would like to talk about content marketing and the synergies between CRM and content marketing, because we see that often so in companies we have different silos, and the CRM team is doing something different, and the search team or the display team is doing something different. So this is why we think like good content can enhance your CRM strategy. As I already mentioned, we are focusing on search and content marketing in particular, and we support our clients on the user acquisition, but also like on the retention. But not like a classic CRM approach where we say we want to try to get more out of our user base. It's more that we try to get or improve our user base with cheap channels like organic search or maybe also display native paid channels. But when we talk about CRM, I would like first to say first things first, and CRM is for sure more than just email marketing. And this is what I think a lot of marketers think. Like sending emails is your whole CRM strategy. And in our opinion, it's more like reaching customers is the most important and crucial point for every brand, right? So we want to get in touch over different devices at different times with different messages. So it's really important to understand what kind of possibilities we have. And when we have a look on the customer journey, we will definitely understand that we have different needs within this customer journey. And also based on this, we have different messages we want to spread. So for us, CRM can be more than just email marketing. It can be classic email, it can be social, it can be SMS, programmatic, display video, push notifications on a website, within an app, website optimization or website personalization, the call center, your search strategy, retargeting as well, or also Facebook, WhatsApp. And these are like all the channels we have. And when we think of customer relationship management, we would like to use all of the channels and also to use the data we already have. But before we think of how we can leverage those different channels, we should think about how can we better classify our customers. And when we think of customers and in which phase they are, we would say we have like two phases, a passive phase and an active phase. When we talk about the passive phase, then our user is unaware of our brand, is unaware of our product, so maybe do not have any data about him in our data warehouse. We are not sure if they already know us. And then we have the active phase where the user actively interact with the medium, interact with an ad, and we got some more information about him and about his behavior online. So what are the objectives of each phase? So for sure, when we talk about the passive phase, we would say it's more branding, right? So we want to improve our brand awareness. We want to be there where our customers are, where our target group is. And for sure, when we talk about the active phase, we talk about performance and performance marketing. And like our goal for the branding perspective is for sure being visible in our relevant target group, wherever they are. And for performance, our goal is for sure to be visible when our target group shows interest in our product or is already in the buying process and they search for a product or for a brand like us. So this is where we think that also here customer relationship management can start, because we want to understand which channels should we use. And when we talk about the branding, and for sure we can use already data we have, so we know our target group, we know our customer base, so we know how the demographics are, we know what kind of behavior they have. So we have a lot of information about our customers, and this is something we could use for our display marketing campaigns, for our video campaigns, social media native. So for example, if let's say we sell barbecues online, and we are a barbecue brand, and we know that we can buy data, third-party data from Immobilien Scout for people who are looking for a new house somewhere at the countryside. So for sure, when they are looking for a new house, they will move somewhere. So maybe it's a good point already to address them during the summer month to say, hey, if you move to a new flat or if you move to a new house, maybe you also want to get a new barbecue. Also that we talk about native. So here it's for sure that we do not know our customer in more detail, but we know based on our database what kind of behavior they have and what kind of characteristics they have. When we talk about performance, where we know, okay, maybe they already interacted with the video, interacted with the display ad, so we have already a cookie, so we could retarget him already. So we know they saw our ad, they saw our ad about barbecue, so we could retarget him. So it's more that he's already active, he's aware of us, of our brand, of our product, and then we also can think of paid organic or customer or comparison search engines like Idealo or even Google Shopping, right? So we see a customer is passive. They do not interact with our brand, but we try to improve our brand awareness. Then somehow they will interact with a piece of creative we have, and then what's the next trigger? And the next trigger, I think the trigger which is for CRM the most important. So we talk about a purchase, about a registration. So the interested user becomes a customer. And now we have definitely more data about him or her. And we talk about a customer phase, right? So the customer phase is definitely something where we talk about retention and where we have the objective, the goal, to help the customer to use or reorder our product. So in this case, like all the classic retention channels like email, push, on-site optimization definitely take place. So we have a lot of different channels, but also like a classic retargeting channel could be important because when we know that someone buys a barbecue, maybe after a while, they also want to get some additional features for his barbecue or her barbecue, or if someone is buying a skirt, maybe we can retargeting this person with new shoes or shoes fitting to address. So these are definitely the channels we would suggest to use for retargeting because based on our customer relationship management software, we definitely understand how our target group is searching, what kind of behavior they have, what they have bought in the past, and we can also use the data to use lookalike audience for social or whatever, right? So we definitely have now another phase, and for us as a marketer, it's important how to approach all these phases. And as initially discussed, it's really important to have the right message at the right time, at the right place, using the right medium, right? So for sure, someone who is not aware of our brand, who is just surfing online, who is in a passive phase, they would expect a different message than someone who is already a loyal customer, who has already bought products from us. So this is why, in our opinion, content plays a crucial role here, that we understand what kind of content do we need within which phase of the customer journey. So this is where content marketing takes place. So content marketing can help us to reach the users across different channels. So for sure, when we create content, and this is where we see that often you have silos, like the content team is doing something different than the display team, than the social team, than the CRM team. And in our opinion, it definitely makes sense to get everyone at one table and discuss, okay, what kind of content do we have? What kind of content do we want to create in the future? And also to think what kind of content is interested for the potential customer or the existing customer within his complete customer journey. But how does a classic customer journey look like? So when we have a look back then into the marketing in the 70s, where we have the classic AIDA model about attention, interest, desire, action, and we also used like the satisfaction and the conviction phase after a purchase, after the registration. Then we have definitely different channels we can use or different touch points we can use to interact with the customer, or in the beginning with the user, right? So we have display where we could buy third-party data to understand who is surfing and how to target them. We can use a video to target someone, to get their attention, to improve the brand awareness. We have social, we have native. After a while, when he gets interested in or has an interest in our product, we can start with PPC, with organic, social for sure, like retargeting with a social channel. Then after a while, he starts to desire our product. So he will read the reviews, he will ask his friends what kind of product he should buy. Then maybe it comes to the action phase where someone is researching for a product. So maybe they use PLAs on Google, or they use Idealo, or they come directly to our website. And after the purchase, we have like the satisfaction and conviction phase, where we say, okay, we have an FAQ, we have a blog, a magazine, where we have additional content, we have email marketing, we have social, WhatsApp, and these are like the channels where we definitely have more information about the user, and we can give him guidance about how to use a product, or about a new feature, or about something which is related to his previous purchases. So we have definitely different points in the customer journey, which lead to different needs, right? So someone who is in the attention phase definitely needs other content than someone who is already a loyal buyer or loyal customer. And content can ensure that we offer exactly what the customer is looking for. One question into the audience: who has ever bought a built-in kitchen? Not that many, okay. So I mean, as a bachelor, it's quite easy. There's like one tweet from last year, which is a really brilliant idea about how to design and how to plan your kitchen. Could be quite easy, right? So if you are a bachelor, instead of two wall units, you get 2 dishwashers and use the dishes and put it in the next dishwasher. So brilliant idea. But if you really research for a kitchen and you have to buy a new kitchen for your flat, for your house, you will have plenty of different questions. And this is what we see is really important, that as a brand, we understand what kind of issues a user have. Ideally, someone who is a potential customer, someone who is already a customer. And you see this like an extract of a tool, Answer the Public, where you see what kind of questions someone enters in Google. So for sure, this is just one channel, but I think it's like a good proxy to get the user behavior. And you see that people enter everything in Google, right? So there's a question that someone is asking where to put his toaster in his new kitchen, right? So maybe he's looking for a feng shui guide, where to put his toaster. But you definitely see you have a lot of questions. And when we talk about the user journey, the customer journey, we will have for sure different pieces of content we could use, right? So in the beginning, when we talk about attention, about interest, someone is not aware that he wants to buy a specific brand or a specific kitchen type, so maybe they first look for inspiration, like best kitchen ideas for small flats, when to plan your kitchen, when to order your kitchen. And for sure, someone who is surfing on Immobilien Scout and looking for flats without a built-in kitchen will need to buy one, right? So they will need to plan it. So this is where we already can try to get the user, try to interact with the user, try to get the cookie, to get the retargeting pixel, and then maybe after a while that the person knows, okay, I'm interested in a kitchen, I need a kitchen, and I have different brands I can take into consideration, like Nolte Kitchen, which is a famous German brand, or maybe I'll go to IKEA or to Nobilia, which is a competitor of Nolte. So for sure, someone who is in charge of buying a kitchen, they will need to understand what kind of brands are there. And this may be something where we say that's a category content. We try to support the user during his journey, during his buying process. And for sure, this is something where CRM does not take place in particular, but for sure, this is something we would need for the whole customer journey. When we talk about the next step, someone is really just before his purchase, he knows what kind of kitchen they want. So maybe they decided to go for an Nolte kitchen and they look for glass fronts, for round corners without appliances. So these are like all the more product-related terms and product-related topics we need still to cover. And then after someone becomes a customer, we still see that content can play a major role, not just to sell more or to cross-sell, to upsell, but also to give the user a good understanding that we are the brand, we help you to also maintain your kitchen, to clean your kitchen, maybe to upgrade your kitchen cabinet doors if you say, okay, my kitchen is already 10 years old, I would like to refresh it. So I would say this is like the content which definitely makes sense after the purchase, when we say, okay, it's more about customer and client retention, that we say what kind of information should we use after someone bought a kitchen. And when we have a look what kind of information and content we find out there, then you will see like best kitchen ideas for small flats. That's a online retailer for kitchens in UK. And you see definitely that this would be like a perfect landing page for someone who is searching on, let's say, Immobilien Scout for smaller flats without a built-in kitchen, that they get the information what kind of topics they need to take into consideration when they buy one. And I think this is a really good piece of content which can be spread over display, could be used for native, could be used for social, and based on the data we already have in our customer relationship management, we can target those target groups. When we talk about the next step, so someone is already aware what kind of kitchen he or she needs, then maybe we talk about different brands, right? So we have a Nolte kitchen, which is a German manufacturer, or we have IKEA, which is for sure the cheaper solution. And here we can also, within a magazine, if we are selling online or offline kitchens and we have different brands in our portfolio, then we also can say, hey, who should buy a Nobilia kitchen or IKEA kitchen or a Nolte kitchen, whatever, so that you say, hey, we try to support you within your complete customer journey and try to help you to find the right product for you. Then after a while, maybe the user said, okay, Nolte is the right manufacturer for me, the right brand I would like to go for. Then they look maybe for Nolte kitchens with glass fronts. And this is how landing page can look like in a store. And for sure here again, if someone already get into or interacted with this piece of content and we know that he read the content and maybe also that we have a micro event that we see he scrolled down to the bottom of the content, then he's definitely interested in the specific brand or manufacturer. So we definitely can retarget him with a more product-related content. Or also like when we talk about classic search ads, there's something where it definitely makes sense to target the audience. And when we talk about customer relationship management, we talk mainly about the topics after a purchase, and there we can talk about how to clean your kitchen or how to clean the kitchen work surface. So I would say this is like the content we would like to share and also to give to our audience, that they become not just a customer, that they become a hero, that they talk about the experience they had with us as an online kitchen shop or offline kitchen shop, whatever, that we say, yeah, I know that they sell it, but also they take care of me after I bought it. And this is where we think that content marketing definitely takes place also in a customer relationship management strategy, because this piece of content, which is mainly done for, let's say, native, is done for search, organic, paid, or for Facebook, also can be used for, let's say, email marketing, can be used for SMS marketing, WhatsApp for sure. If you know that someone has his kitchen and it's already installed and they are happy with it, that you also say, hey, look, this is a guide how you really clean it. So what are the takeaways for today? So to be honest, it was not that specific based on customer relationship management, but I just wanted to give you some ideas how you can enlarge your strategy, and also how you can talk to your different colleagues in different departments to be more user-centric and also to use content which is already there. And when we talk about the different phases, we would also talk about the time long before the purchase, about the time shortly before the purchase, and after the purchase. And when we talk about the classic AIDA funnel, which can be extended with satisfaction and conviction, we would say that in the beginning of the customer journey, we would talk about branding. So we want to ensure that our brand is present whenever someone is or has a behavior that he is looking maybe for a kitchen in the future, or maybe for a barbecue or whatever. Then we talk about performance, where we know, okay, the person already interacted with our ad, so for sure they are somehow related to us because they clicked on an ad, they clicked or watch a video, or have a dedicated search behavior. So we definitely know, okay, this person is someone who may be a potential customer for us. So then we talk about the active phase, and like the last phase where we talk, okay, that's the customer phase. We talk about retention, where we say after someone bought a product, we want to ensure that they feel happy, that they understand it was the right decision to go with us as a brand, to buy the product at our store, and to ensure that you have additional content and can take care of his needs after the sale. Thank you very much for your attention, and we still have time for questions.
Thanks a lot, Matthäus. That was a very good, inspiring talk. First, before we ask questions, this is a little thank you from CrossEngage. Don't drink it right now, because we want to have the chance to hear your answers. So any questions?
Thanks for the presentation, interesting. Just a question, from a technical point of view, how do you communicate with CRM? So, for example, content creates some text or document. Do you upload it to a CRM system, or how do you pass it to the CRM guys, especially when you have several markets, for example, several languages?
Yeah. So I think it's really important that the people within a company which are dealing with the user acquisition, but also with the user retention, that they meet several times a month, and that they both understand, okay, how is our customer group, or how is our target group, what are the channels we are using right now. And when we talk about content marketing is not like a dedicated discipline or a dedicated department. It's more, in our opinion, that content marketing needs to involve a lot of people within a company, right? So maybe someone from a service department who definitely knows the needs of a customer, someone from the CRM who has the data about the customers, and someone from the performance department who knows, okay, what kind of channels makes more sense for us, and also like the content creation guys. And ideally, based on our audience, or our current audience, and our dedicated customer group, that we create the content which is really needed for them, and that we start. Also, when we think of content creation, maybe it makes sense to start first with, let's say, the retention part, because we know someone who bought something and needs a dedicated guide or information about how to use a product. This is definitely something where we can improve the retention of the user. But when we talk about, let's say, the awareness phase, where we talk about branding, there the CRM guys mainly giving us just the ideas who is our customer group and how we should use this data for the targeting. So ideally you have like a round table, and everyone who is dedicated for each discipline sits at one table and discuss, okay, what is our content strategy, what is our content marketing approach, that when the content team creates some content which fits to a, let's say, to a segment, or it's fitting to a customer group, that also the CRM guys know that this content is there, that this content is published, and we can use it for, let's say, an email marketing campaign, we can use it for push notification, whatever. So for sure you need to discuss this, and to be at one table instead of having silos.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So, but after the content was created and maybe somewhere published, so CRM team take it and basically publish to the CRM system, or because there are different types of collaborations possible.
Yeah, for sure. So either you use the content and use the whole content for an email campaign, or you can also use just a small teaser that you say, hey, you bought a kitchen and you want to know how to maintain it. Then you have like a link from your email campaign to, let's say, a service area on your page, right? So it's not the case that the content needs to be created for the email. It could be also like it's a teaser within an email. Also, when you say, okay, we still want, after someone bought a kitchen, to try to upsell products, that you say, hey, these products were bought by different customers with the same kitchen. This is what you can also buy as an accessory, and then you have also like informational-driven content beneath your classic upselling focus.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi. Sorry, I was entering your speech quite lately, so maybe your answer is already given. Can you tell us something about how you classify your content for later automating it? So what are the attributions you use, especially for taxonomy, and how do you automate it?
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about content, we do not create tons of content, right? So when you are a specific brand and you sell, like, let's say, a limited product range, you will know that like issues will come up during the whole customer journey. So it's not the case that all the information a user needs through his customer journey needs to be created once again and several times, right? So once you understand how your customer journey goes, so that you understand in the awareness phase, they maybe research for those topics. In the action phase, they need this information on a product landing page or a category page. And then when we talk about the satisfaction and the loyalty, then they need different content. So I would not say it's a case of attribution. It's a case of understanding what kind of content gets researched when. So for example, this is something where you can use marketing studies, where you can use your call center, your service center to ask what kind of issues do our target group have with our product before they buy, after they buy, or you can also use data you pull from search. So I would say like search is one of the best proxies to understand what kind of issues someone have within a topic. And based on this, I would build my content strategy. And then when the content strategy is there, so for sure you want to leverage this content on different channels, and CRM would be one of it.
The reuse of the content is very, very small.
Sorry?
The problem with the reuse of the content is very small.
What do you mean with reviews?
No, not reviews, reuse.
Reuse?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you have a specific topic where you know that like 80% of your customers will have this question after they bought your product, and maybe after they use it for a while, then you can definitely reuse it again, right? So you can have your segment, and you know they bought this kitchen, so they will definitely need those features, those accessories, or they will have like content about a guide how to maintain your kitchen, how to clean your kitchen. So this is something you will need every time. For sure, for one specific user, it's just relevant once, for sure. But when you talk about your whole customer base, then it's something you would create for the whole base, right? And in my opinion, it's also something about how good you take care of your client or of your customer. So this is why I would say still it makes sense. For sure, you have to leverage to understand how expensive this piece of content would be and how much more benefit would we get. But what we think when we talk about a customer journey is like when we create content within the different phases, we can ensure that our brand is visible everywhere, right? And on each channel. So we can use what are the best kitchen ideas for 2019 as a native editorial. We can use how to clean your kitchen afterwards for CRM, or we can also say when you compare different products or different types of wood, for example, if you have a kitchen countertop, that you also say this is something where normally someone offline would tell the user what kind of kitchen they need, but some users will already research topics online. So this is why we say it's more like transferring the offline salesman to an online environment where you have different pieces of content through different channels, but all based on specific issues within different phases of the customer journey.
Do we have more questions? No, I have one.
Yes.
Very interesting talk. What is, in your opinion, the main challenge why it does not work? Because we don't see this sophisticated approach a lot of times, right? But what is the barrier?
Yeah, so I think like the biggest challenge, and let's say if the company is bigger and you definitely have different departments, different teams, that they do not communicate with each other, right? So I think like one of the biggest issue is when we talk about search as a channel, so you have paid search, you have organic search, even there where it's like the same interface, the teams are not communicating with each other. And so for sure, like the CRM team will not communicate with the search team not with the display team, the social team maybe not with the native or CRM team. So that's a problem that we have silos and no one takes the possibility to discuss and be more user-centric. So often we see that companies are, like, let's say, channel-centric, but they should have like a level above all the channels where all the information you gain through the channels are consolidated somewhere, and that someone knows, okay, on social media, the people are always asking a specific question, why shouldn't we use this for CRM and push it with an email campaign because we know, okay, this question will come up, or we can use this for our magazine, for service hub, whatever. So this is, I think, the biggest challenge, that the different teams are working mainly on their own and they don't communicate that often.